Olympic champions, Germany second and the Netherlands third. They have done it. 3 world titles, Olympic champions.
Hello and welcome to our video presentation. In this video, we are going to talk about the physiological and biomechanical aspects of elite level rowing and apply this knowledge to create a talent identification system.
%70 of a 2,000 metre race in rowing is aerobic. It has also been shown that VO2 max and lactate thresholds have been found to be the most important predictors of aerobic capacity. VO2 max is the maximal amount of oxygen per kilogram per minute that the body utilises during exercise. SES has conducted a study which shows the absolute values for oxygen consumption as an average are among the highest reported for endurance athletes. The values he has discovered are here. It's also shown that elite rowers have a maximal aerobic capacity about 1.75 times higher than the same age of untrained males. The pulmonary system also has an effect on the rowing performance. This is because high volumes of oxygen has to pass through the lungs in a minute. Therefore, a high lung capacity is key to the success of an elite rower. Another factor that affects the performance of rowing is the number of alveoli. This is because a higher density of alveoli creates a larger surface area which increases the rate of diffusion. This therefore leads to a larger concentration of oxygen diffusing into the blood, which means that more oxygen can be carried to the muscles, therefore more energy being available.
An athlete's lactate levels help scientists predict their endurance ability. Studies have shown that peak blood lactate levels range between 17 millimoles to a high point of 25 millimoles per liter. Seller found that levels of lactate reaches an average of 17.4 millimoles per liter. He also found that the heart rate reached an average 189 beats per minute during 2,000 meter races. This is because more oxygen is required to get to the working muscles, so heart rate increases.
Type 2B muscle fibers are more susceptible to muscle damage due to their restricted resistance to fatigue. Therefore, elite rowers have a higher percentage of type 1 and type 2A muscle fibers. This means for majority of the 2,000 meters, there will be a higher recruitment of type 1 muscle fibers as they have a higher threshold before fatiguing. Type 1 or slow twitch muscle fibers have increased oxidative enzyme activity, increased numbers and density of mitochondria. Mitochondria is the site of ATP synthesis. Therefore, the higher density of mitochondria, the more ATP can be produced, leading to reduction in muscle fatigue, allowing rowing athletes to continue rowing at an efficient rate and maintain stroke volume.
Join us after the commercial when we will be discussing the biomechanics behind rowing. We will also be discussing how both the physiological and biomechanical theories are going to be used to create the optimal talent identification program in rowing.
You have to invest the time if you want to win. So you commit the months, the years. You innovate every single day. You draw on your beliefs and your values. But those who really compete know that preparation is just the beginning. different minds think together and are determined to keep going when others give up. That's how you navigate through any conditions. You focus on the boat. Victory is determined by the mind. Thinking, pulling together. And once we've won, we pause, reflect, and in the morning, we do it all again. Welcome.
Anthropometry is a very important aspect of biomechanics in any sport. However, in rowing it is especially important. In 1996, Stephen Sealer stated that rowers must achieve an optimal combination of high stroke power and stroke length. Therefore, rowers tend to be leaner, taller and heavier than the general population. This is supported by another study which was conducted in 2000. The study looked at the anthropometry of rowers from the World Junior Rowing Championships. The sample consisted of 383 of the best rowers from 41 countries. The mean age of the participants was 17.8 years. Anthropometry data were then compared to the most relatable normative data, which was a sample of 1,098 Belgian boys. From the comparison, it was found that the rowers were significantly bigger than the Belgian boys in every aspect. The average rower body mass was 82 kgs, whereas the normative data was 64.7 kg. The junior rowers were also 12 centimeters taller than the Belgian boys. Not only were the rowers taller, they also had more girth. For example, the average rower's thigh girth was 57.9 centimeters compared to the thigh girth of the average Belgian boy, which was 51.3 centimeters. To further understand the anthropometry of rowers, the study compared the data of the finalists to the non-finalists. It was found that even between the rowers, there was a slight difference in both height and weight between the finalists and the non-finalists. The finalist was 3 centimeters taller than the non-finalist. The girth of the finalists' limbs were also higher compared to the non-finalists. The finalists had 7.5 mm on the tricep skin fold, whereas the non-finalists had 8.2 mm. This suggests that the finalists had leaner muscle mass compared to the non-finalists. Compared to elite heavyweight and elite lightweight rowers, it was found that the junior rowers were bigger than the lightweight rowers, but smaller than the heavyweight rowers. Sealer also found that the average body fat percentage of young elite rowers were very low. The average body fat percentage was 15.4% for females and 8.7% for males. It is important for rowers to have low body fat percentage to ensure that they can minimize the load they have to carry. This is because the more load you carry, the more power your muscles must generate to move quicker. Therefore, from a biomechanical point of view, we're looking for young males and females that are between the ages of 16 to 24. The optimal male should be from 186 centimeters to 190 centimeters tall. They should also have a body fat percentage of 7 to 8%. The optimal female should be from 174 to 183 centimeters. The body fat percentage should be from 12 to 14%.
To summarise, an athlete will have to have anthropometric profiling of height and weight measurements taken. Also, body fat measurements taken via skin calipers. VO2 max testing will take place to identify oxidative capacity, lactate threshold and heart rate, and muscle biopsies to identify the percentage of muscle fibre type.
Thank you for watching. We hope this information is useful for any coaches or athletes.